But I just want to clarify on the issue of whether or not you had offered to send this rocket to space to rescue these astronauts sooner to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I heard somebody earlier today say, in fact, that didn't happen when I believe it did.
No, we definitely offered to return the astronauts earlier. There's no question about that. The astronauts were only supposed to be there for 8 days, and they've been there for almost 10 months. So obviously that doesn't make any sense. SpaceX could have brought the astronauts back after a few months at most, and we made that offer to the Biden administration. It was rejected for political reasons, and that's just a fact.
Yeah. You know, I followed this from the very beginning. Did America and the world make a mistake by slowing down, going to the moon and to other planets? Was that a mistake on our part? I mean, don't we have so many scientific and innovative breakthroughs every time we go?
Well, I think we'll have tremendous breakthroughs when we establish a city or a base and then a city on Mars, because we'll have to overcome so many challenges that it'll serve as a forcing function for the development of new technologies that will have tremendous benefits to people on Earth.
Let's talk a little bit, if we can, about the health issues that the astronauts will face. They only trained for an 8-day mission, but there are certainly things involved with returning to gravity, adjusting to gravity, nauseousness, but then it gets a little bit more serious, a variety of other health problems. Bones become about 1% less dense for every month that they are in space. That could lead to issues like osteoporosis or bone fracture, et cetera. Astronauts grow in space because the spinal column expands. There was one astronaut, Scott Kelly, he became 2 inches taller, and others then, when it contracts when you come back, then they have some back issues. They have vision issues because fluids in the eye shift upward to the head. You can explain baby feet if you want. They will have some significant health issues that they're going to be facing, but they'll be okay.
Yeah, the normal amount of time that astronauts are supposed to be in zero G is about 3 months, and then really at the most about 6 months. That's sort of the normal rotation, and they were up there for almost 10 months. So that's really going beyond what is healthy or good. So it's a good thing that, thanks to the support of President Trump, we hope to bring them back, because really things get just a lot worse if they stay in zero G for, past a year or more.
You know, what you were able to accomplish today really is just fascinates me. I'm interested in every aspect of it. I think, it was pretty public that I bought one of your Teslas. I don't like the way that people, and by the way, it's like the greatest car ever invented. It really is. And I'm not just saying that. It's self-driving. It's got 1,000 horsepower. It goes from 0 to 60 in 0.2 seconds. It's
2 seconds.
Most American.
2 seconds.
Okay.
2 seconds.
Zero, no, I'm sorry, not 0.
Yeah.
It goes in 0 to 60 in 2.0 seconds.
At that point, I think it would kill you basically if it went that fast.
It would kill. That's true.
But it's pretty fast. That's for sure. It's faster than any Ferrari, for example. Yeah.
No, I watched it beat my Z06. I'm like, I thought that was the greatest muscle car. No, it's not. I watched the S-Plaid beat it. You're into robotics, AI. You are working with Neuralink so the blind can see and people with spinal cord injuries may one day walk. You help people in North Carolina. You help people in California when they have no communications. And I watch all of this, and I have to ask, why? Why do I see people like I woke up this morning and saw that Teslas were put ablaze in one of your dealerships in Vegas? I've seen this happen all over the country. Bullets are being fired. Charging stations are put ablaze. Teslas are being put ablaze. You have experienced assassination, threats of assassination for you and your family. What have you done that warrants this? Because I see nothing that you have done except help our country. Yeah,
I mean, it's really come as quite a shock to me that there's this level of of really hatred and violence from the left. I always thought the left, or Democrats, were supposed to be the party of empathy, the party of caring, and yet they're burning down cars, they're firebombing dealerships, they're firing bullets into dealerships, they're just smashing up Teslas. Tesla is a peaceful company. We've never done anything harmful. I've never done anything harmful. I've only done productive things. So I think we just have a deranged. There's some kind of mental illness thing going on here, because this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
and I think there are larger forces at work as well. I mean, I don't know who's funding it and who's coordinating it, because this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this.
You actually tweeted out, and I'll put it on the screen, the level of violence is insane. It is deeply wrong. Tesla just makes electric cars and has done nothing to deserve these evil attacks. You just rescued 2 astronauts that have been in space for 286 days. They were only supposed to be there 8. You help the people in North Carolina, Tennessee, California. You have, I think, the most creative and innovative car on the market. You created Starlink for communications that's used by hundreds of countries. You're working on helping the blind see and all of these other things. Is it really come down to the basic, you're aligned with President Donald Trump, who also is a friend of mine, and that you have identified well over $100 billion in waste, fraud, abuse that our federal government never should have been spending? Is that what it comes down to?
Yeah, it turns out when you take away people's, what the money they're receiving fraudulently, they get very upset, and they basically want to kill me because I'm stopping their fraud, and they want to hurt Tesla because we're stopping this terrible waste and corruption in the government. And well, I guess they're bad people. Bad people will do bad things.
Well, I know that overall, financially, in the end, yes, they can hurt you, but the people that they'll end up hurting are the people that work in your dealerships that may risk losing their job. The people that they may end up hurting are the people that work on the line and build the Teslas. They're going to be the ones hurt. And that to me is despicable on their part, just because they might have a political difference or perceived political difference. Let me ask you this, because I think this is pretty important. The average American makes $66,000 a year. We're close to $40,000 in debt. You said to me in our last interview, we won't have a country unless we fix it now. Can you explain why this is so important that we identify all this waste?
Yes, the government the government waste and fraud is so high that it's causing a $2 trillion annual deficit. So that's $2,000 billion of waste and fraud that's happening, and the cost of our debt has gotten so high that just the interest payments on the debt exceed the entire military budget, and it was just growing out of control. So the country was going bankrupt. It's just, a country is no different from a person. If a country overspends and doesn't spend wisely, just like a person, a country will go bankrupt. So the reason I'm here is because I'm very worried about America going bankrupt due to the corruption and waste. And if we don't do something about it, the ship of America is going to sink. And we're all on that ship. And this may be a message to, people out there who have, are wealthy, have a lot of means, or control companies. It's like, just remember, we're all in ship America here. If your company is not going to exist if the ship of America sinks. And we should do everything we possibly can to ensure that America is strong for far into the future.
And for doing that, we're all sunk. And for doing that, you should not have your company be a victim of domestic terrorism.